Avoid legal snaps by telling people they're being recorded.
There he is.
Hey!
He didn't die.
I got it. Hey,
But no cigar.
yeah, you almost lucked out of this COVID shit. Greg's pandemic is over now.
Yeah. Quick and easy.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Chaille. We're giving him a hard time because you guys will hear the story. I'm sure Chaille got stung by a scorpion and had a bad experience. And I felt real bad for him until I saw this morning Prisoner Mike. You guys would know him from the Stanhope podcast. He's on the Twitch stream with me. He responded to Stanhope's tweet and said that he rolled over in bed last night and a scorpion stung him on the tip of his dick.
Wow.
He wins.
Anyone who gets his kicks by bedding down a scorpion, that's just not right.
You know what I did when I heard is, it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, the Scorpions band. So I went down a little rabbit hole after you got bit and listened to the Hurricane and that Gorky Park one.
Gorky, yeah.
What about the zoo? You got to go old school with the Scorpions, man.
That's a very underrated, oft-times overlooked kick-ass Scorpion song.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's killer. And by the way, sticking a scorpion in the pee hole of your dick is called a Tucson tumbler. Enjoy that.
They got a website for that.
Who booked that?
I'm flabbergasted. Chaille, you doing all right now, though?
Yeah, it was. I mean, when it happened, I didn't really know how I react to stings because I've been diagnosed as being allergic to bee stings, but I think that might have been overactive mom. But at the same time, I don't know.
Guess not.
The crazy thing is is this it? I'm gonna sit here in this chair as I could feel it, like the toxins going up the nerves in my arm. I feel it going up my arm towards my shoulder. And I'm like, this is it, huh? Kenny and Derek staring at me while I die in the chair.
Yeah.
While Tracy's trying to get a signal to get a phone call out on the top of the fun house, and Doug's somewhere online looking at something. And I'm like, yeah, this is it. Derek's gonna be, hold your hand up over your head so it goes to your heart quicker. And I'm like, what? This is.
What was the
right.
last thing he heard?
If I know anything about the way Reverend Derek deals with an emergency situation, you're lucky he didn't stick his thumb in your ass.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Wow.
He's not biting anything.
That's a compelling case to head to the light, right? Derek going, hey,
Don't tempt me of a good time.
we're going to have fun next week.
Yeah, but the only thing that was really scary was when I lost consciousness. That was the thing. Because I didn't know how it was. That was 15 minutes after I got stung, and I could feel this wave of nausea coming on. And as this feeling starts creeping up my arm, I'm like, uh-oh, it's lights out time. And then I don't remember anything after that. And that's the only thing, because thank God for Google. That probably saved me 2 days stay at a hospital. But you don't really know how you're going to react to it, and you don't know if it's going to be something serious. It'll happen in the first hour. Mm-hmm. But the pain is excruciating for about 12 hours for me, not till 5 in the morning. Yeah.
How did you encounter it? Where did it? You were in your house or outside?
I was in the shop, our shop for the merch.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, Tracy stacks cardboard boxes from T-shirts, vertical like this. Come to find out, that's their favorite place to fucking hang, because the bark scorpion hangs upside down on a wall. We found him on the wall, on our wall between a cutting board and a wall that's hanging, and the wall hanging upside down. And I pulled the cutting board away, and he was still on the cutting board. So that's really kind of the ideal situation, because they like moist environments. And it's the perfect storm. I should have been wearing gloves, but I was doing woodworking, so I don't want to keep putting on gloves, taking off gloves.
Now, this is a small
You-
detail since you lived, but was that box issues with Andy or was that Stanhope Perch?
That wasn't issues with Andy box. We got another
Well,
order of T-shirts in.
then I don't feel so bad about scooping the Doug Stanhope podcast with this story. I was going to try to nip it in the bud because I'm not trying to do that, but hey, I feel like we're involved.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is that the story is going to be Doug, and because when he came out there, I was unconscious and my lips were blue. So and there, yeah, I turned like a bunch of different colors, and it wasn't until like 25 minutes later that my face got color back. So it'll be interesting to hear Doug's take on it.
Doug,
Yeah.
right after Doug's edible kicked in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now I was just thinking, like when I was living on Doug's porch in Venice, and we had the homeless couple living there, and then there was it was Patty and Van. Van was the black guy with sparse teeth and a heart of gold, as Doug described him, and we liked Van. Patty was schizophrenic and sometimes would ruin a nice hummus sitting, yap, 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 and we're trying to have our nice hummus. But when she one night, me and Doug were going sober. We left the man show lot where we drank all the time. Like we both had problems back then, and we went to Venice. Yeah, and we decided
now.
Yeah, it's a whole updated one. But so we were sober out there. We're like, let's not drink the whole. And we watched Gangs of New York with Patty and Van, the homeless couple. Patty got up and went into the kitchen, and then we went back to the movie, but she kept yapping. Patty couldn't shut up, and she was telling Van to sit down, and he's going, Patty, I am sitting. Patty, I am sitting. And it was quite honestly ruining the movie. So Doug shut it down, said, movie's over. That's it. And then they went next door to live on the porch, which is next door. And then we heard a few minutes later, or a minute later, help! Oh shit! She stabbed me! Oh Patty! Oh Patty! And I climbed up. There's a fence. I climbed up and I see what they're on the dark on the porch, and I could see what was going. I saw the knife and him holding his gut and pleading, and she was like, and I jumped over the fence, and then I went over there and I was watching I was trying to figure out how to get in there without getting stabbed. Like I'm a hero who waits for an opportunity, not a hero who goes.
Hey
right.
Andy, let me just paint this a little bit. The porches are like next to each other. Think of like a townhouse where they've got like enclosed porches, like cinder block and stucco on it. So to get into there, he'd have to like hop over like a 6-foot, like a retaining wall or just a barrier wall.
Right. And it was like, it kind of, struck me as where OJ found his ex or whatever, kind of, and it was real dark. And she was, she was on top of him and she had the knife. And then I was like, there waiting and shit, and goddamn, I want, Van's pleading, and she stabbed him once, and she made it sound like she was definitely inclined to do it a couple more times to shut his fucking face up or whatever, and so I'm like fucking there, and then here comes Doug. He walks around the gate, and he's on the phone, and he goes, hey, hang on. Hey, Dave. He's talking to Dave Attell. He goes, hang on, Attell. And then he comes up and it's like, I don't know what to do. The stabbing's in progress technically. And there's only one thing on the porch, a chair, like a fucking kitchen chair, old style, 50s, 70s, whatever kitchen chair. And Doug just like, hang on. And then he looks at the situation. He picks up that chair and jabs Patty. Jabs are completely off. Like he put
like a lion tamer?
Yeah, like a fucking lion tamer. Exactly. I'm staring at the fucking thing forever going, how do I get this knife out of the situation? And then Doug just jabbed Patty, and then I took the knife, and then we went, the police came eventually. I went over and did first aid. Prinny was there. She never come out, was involved in any of this, and she's a nurse. So I take Van next door, and I'm doing first aid. He's got a gut wound. Here's what I learned about people with stab wounds: they don't want to laugh.
That's probably pretty.
And no matter how fucked up a situation is I can't not be fucking darkly funny within it. So, and he was saying, I don't know why she stabbed me. I just told her I loved her. So something like that. And then I said, yeah, it does seem like an overreaction, or what. And he goes, "Ugh," and he's like, making some bad noises. Like, okay, I'm not going to say anything funny. Just hold my shirt over your gut. And the police eventually came and dealt with Patty. Van got taken away by an ambulance. And, but it was just, it was amazing. Like Stanhope didn't have any panic. Like, it's like no dog in the fight kind of thing. It's like, I was like worried, I was like, fuck, is this guy's gonna, and Doug just come over there haphazardly and solve the problem without putting any thought into it whatsoever. It's just like instinct, grabbed the chair, jabbed her off, and saved Van, from another wound. I was kind of pissed off. I was like, I'm not a fucking nurse, and there's a nurse in there who doesn't want to come out because I think of, maybe AIDS or, she didn't want to get blood on her. It's like, I'm swimming in this blood.
Wait, there's a couple of homeless people having a knife fight outside, and you're surprised that someone wanted to stay inside and watch the movie.
Not my business.
Yeah.
Don't get involved.
So eventually, I never did see the end of the Gangs in New York, but that movie is very
kind of ends like that. Yeah.
It's stabbing.
You saw a recreation.
Yeah, that movie stabbing. I don't want to blame Hollywood, but she was watching that movie and went in and took the only knife Doug had. It became a problem the next day when we were trying to slice something, but that was it. He had that one knife, and it was
evidence.
Yeah, it was in evidence. I don't think it ever went to court. They deported Patty. Doug met Van after he checked out of the hospital with good, fresh clothes, because everything he had got stabbed and bled. So, good times on the porch there.
I mean, that place, Erickson, I know you've been there way back when they had the pig,
briefly, yeah.
That convertible. That's the period of time. That's not abnormal behavior for the neighborhood.
No.
It really, I mean, just to have it concentrated onto two porches, that's a little odd that they take the dog and pony show right next door and then stab someone. But that area is basically 2 or 3 blocks from Venice Beach, like from where the famous boardwalk area.
Yeah. It's like where good expectations meet fear. Like,
where guys shitting on the sidewalk next to $1 million fucking condos.
It's fun when you see people who have no idea what they're getting into, and they're walking with their family, and they got their umbrella, and fuck. We were Doug called me one time when we were living there. I don't know if he was doing laundry. I don't think so, but he called up and said, "Hey, there's a shooting at the laundromat." And I was about 10 blocks away, and I was, fuck. And I went running up there. And by the time I was there, the guy was already dead, I think. And they were taking him away. It was just like, and this was the thing. It was a gang related thing, but the gang did it. The gang that shot this kid was in it like a U-Haul truck. They must have had furniture to pick up and then whack this dude. They whacked the dude, and then they took off and eventually crashed the fucking thing into a mall or something like that. Me and Doug,
that's their getaway vehicle?
Yeah, that's
These people created a literal paper trail just to commit a crime. Let's go rent a truck. We'll get away with this for sure.
Yeah, like that was the thing. When I heard about that, it's like, all I can think of is they had other shit to do that day.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
I get two birds with one stone.
Yeah, we'll whack Tony, and then we'll go get that couch over at Goodwill.
Hey, that's over by where that love seat's for sale. We should swing by and do a. All right.
That's what that picture was taken. Well, there's a picture me and Doug did later that evening. While that crime, we didn't know we'd eventually have our own crime scene. But that one, we sat out there and we poured out. We didn't know the guy, but we poured out a beer out of respect, or a little.
I remember that picture. That's a man show picture. You guys have beanies on.
Yeah, we're all tired up, and then Van took that picture, and also Van was the life. He was always ready to do stuff. He had a belly full of. Oh, that's what I said to him. When she said she stabbed me, and I said, "Good thing you got a belly full of gin, or that shit would have hurt." And then he laughed, and he goes, "Oh," and I go, "All right, man, I'll take I'll take it down." And
lay off.
but so me and Sean Rouse walked up to the beach, I think independently, to kill ourselves. We didn't discuss it. We were just like, fuck it. And, we walked up there, and then Van trailed along. I don't know how that happened, but he went to the beach, and me and Sean went swimming. And we didn't there was we weren't having an issue. There was nothing going on between me and Sean or anything. It's just guys like that, when you get out in the breakers, you go, fuck it. Two more, two more, and this shit'll just be a fucking,
not a choice.
At the sky going, yeah, it was worth it, huh? Yeah, at least Derek ain't here. At least Derek and so I'm swimming, and then at some point I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm out there a ways, quite a ways. You can, Van's starting to get pretty tiny, and then I hear Sean Rouse swimming past me. Like he's about 15 feet away, and he's plowing through the waves like he just got in the pool and it's some sort of a competition. And oh man, and now I can't kill myself. Now I got to go out and fucking like Clarence in It's a Wonderful Life and go out and convince Sean. I go, hey Sean, and I catch him out there a couple breakers past me, and I go, hey Sean, you think we should turn around? He goes, yeah, all right. That was it, he was like, and we turned around and we get back to the beach, and Van goes, I thought you both was dead. Yeah, well, oh shit. If Sean had minded his own business or not been a better swimmer or whatever it was, but that was so Van had I had a lot of cool evenings with Van.
Because you were living in between
I lived behind the homeless couple. I lived in the apartment, and they lived on the porch, but they had been there longer. So I didn't dare, it was like, I just stepped over them in the morning. It's like, I'm half a schizophrenic, and, I do some of the same shit she does. And Van was easy company, so what do I care,
But you were weren't you guys living at the studio too for a while? Even though you had the place,
we got
that Venice place forever.
Yeah, we stayed away from there because Doug's relationship with Renee was a little fractured at the time. A little fractured, so we stayed on the TV lot where they filmed I Love Lucy and Green Acres, and we had our own place, and we stayed there. And That's So Raven. Among some of the greatest shows in history were made there. Who wants to whatever? But so we just stayed in Doug's office, and a lot of times we'd get drunk, and it was better that we just stayed there. Well, all the time we got drunk, we day drank. That was part of the job. You didn't want to do it, but you did because it was fucking menial
professional.
Bullshit. And anytime you had a spark of creativity, you go, fuck yeah, this will be good. And then you go, no, I got to get rid of that spark of creativity. It's going to go nowhere, and it's just going to get me in trouble and disappointed. So you dull that down with the booze, and then when they tell you can't do what you thought would be really cool, but you can do something that ain't very cool at all, and it's like, all right, whatever. We lived there and on the set most of the time, and eventually we had a lot of stuff there. That was they're like, you guys can't live here, and we're like, we're not living here. And then we had a clothesline.
and then the intern comes in with like 16 packs of underwear. Here's your underwear, guys.
Yeah.
When we're not living here.
When we needed clothes, it's like if you're in charge of something as a writer or whatever, you could just call up people and they'd give you stuff. Like I need 4 pairs of pants and some socks up here.
You got to write a sketch with a 3-piece suit in it so you can
go to a wedding next week.
Yeah, exactly.
We were always pitching skits with hammocks in it. How does that play into this? I don't get it. No, we just have a nice hammock.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the people who lived they worked under us. I was going to say live, but most people didn't live on the lot. But they said it was like living under Animal House and MASH combined, and we didn't make, but we had a bullhorn and we had fun, we weren't rowdy, but it's where we lived, you have fun. Once you're off work, you let your hair down and fucking heckle people or whatever.
And not leave work.
No, we'd slip off the lot to go to a bar, and then we'd come back on the lot. I mean, this is how much free reign we had. Is that time there was a skit that involved a car that it wasn't a car that was like a piece of shit to be. It was a car that a midget was going to hit once or twice with a broom or kicked. It was a car that they bought so that it could be hit by a midget. Basically, that was the skit. There's some fucking dumb shit with a priest and the little midget was in a, clown boy out. I don't know. But so a car was delivered, parked in front of where we taped and left there. And I don't know, me and Doug were after hours, a little drinking probably. And I don't know, we just had a little rebellion and we started working that car over. Like the midget put a slight dent in it, probably caused $25 worth of damage. And then Doug started kicking on it. And then I was like, fuck yeah. It's like blood in the water to me, And people started, I wish John Lindgren were here.
I was just going to mention that.
John Lindgren make short work of this shit.
I know what to do.
Yeah, I channeled John Lindgren and I got up and started kicking and bouncing on shit. And then there was a big swinging janitor broom. And that's where it got out of control. As Doug took that, it had a swiveling head, and he swung it. In one swing, shattered the windshield. And I was like, oh fuck! Now now this car's had it. We're gonna fucking murder this thing. Broken glass everywhere, and we're up there jumping up and down on it. And the security rolls by, and then they take a look, see it's me and Doug, and then they just roll on by like they didn't see anything at all. It wasn't anything. Like, I didn't.
Kind of like Prinny during a stabbing.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah,
nope. Just a couple of vagrants.
Yeah. Nothing to see here. One of my favorite days on there is we had a convertible. I don't even know what that was. Oh, maybe it was Doug's car, but we had.
Wait, hold on. The car that you guys destroyed that was for the midget for the skit.
Yeah, that was just some.
Did you guys
car.
buy that for the skit, or did you rent it?
I think the studio did.
Yeah.
I think Comedy Central bought it because it was trash. I think they intended.
Junker.
It was pretty much. Yeah, it's kind of a piece of shit, but here you guys, use this, and then we fucking destroyed it. You remember
Did
that?
You blame it on the midget?
No, well, Doug wrote a nice missive. Doug was very great at sending missives to kind of, he would be good in politics because he was ahead of it. He wrote a letter that we left to go do charity work that evening, and a couple of the other writers were disgruntled because some of their skits were turned down. And I mean, basically, we pinned it on Ray. You could pin it on Ray. He's an angry guy. You could go, but he made it sound like me and Doug were off doing charity work, and whatever happened there was just somebody else.
Ray?
He was the writer who he took his job. He was the guy who took his job really seriously.
Did he wear that flame like Hawaiian shirt that had flames, a black Hawaiian shirt that had flames going up?
Ray had no flair. He was a guy I got into an argument with because I had upside. It was a Juggy science fair, and we had to come up with all these last minute stupid things. And I was like, rupee proof cup. You just put a plastic lid on. Most of mine were accepted. How about a self-wetting T-shirt so you don't have to rely on somebody to spray it? Of course, like these were for juggies to show off. So I was like, boom, everything I fucking pitched was in there. And then I said, how about a morning wood urinal? It's just a urinal upside down. So and that was the funny part. Ray insisted that there needed to be an affixed tube to put on your dick to an upside down thing. I don't know, man. But it was like this guy he was fucking really serious about it. Like I should have integrity and go fight. And basically I said an upside down toilet's a fucking gag, man. And then I took my camera and went over to the toilet and took a picture of it. And I said, here it is, man. But he was trying to make me, okay. But, and here's something Ray really did. And I don't even know his last name. So we had this guy Fish, who was a big tub of shit, who came to the show, and he was a fucking gropey weird fuck who, anyway, he did this thing at the end of the show with Joe and Doug. He sat on a stool, and Ray says, pissing that he had a pitcher of beer, and the props guy, I was under there doing my shots, hanging with the juggy and the midget, and Ray's like, we got to get a pitcher of beer for the fucking guy. Fish is what he went by. Fish. And he's like, piss in it. And I was like, yeah, fuck that guy. And I had my dick out. And then I was like, no, I don't even, quite honestly, it's not I don't want to be typecast,
I like that you were like, yeah, I'll piss in it. And then thought, wait a minute, I don't have any beef with this guy. Why am I pissing in his?
Yeah, I mean, basically.
But your dick was already out, and you were already ready to do it.
This guy, I mean, I own this guy. We did it was a drunken crossfire thing. Is where this guy came. He was in a bar. He was a loudmouth, so he was in the thing. And then they had me in that segment, and I just like fucking me and him, man. It's like I was baiting him, and then when we were at cut, I'd go, "Hey man, you better take it easy. You're gonna fucking rip out that suit, you fat fuck." And then he'd go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And then we go live. They pulled that segment never aired with me and Fish because I was going at it. They had to hide me in the kitchen from the guy. But so when he came to the man show, they brought him out in a limo. He was already drunk. He tried to grope Ralphie May's girlfriend. And then he's just like all of, so it's like, he went into a room and passed out. And this guy Kaiser, who's another one of the uptight, like Frank Burns types, he was an upper guy or whatever. Face. And Kaiser finds me in the hallway. He goes, "Where's that fucking Fish at?" And I go, "Oh, I'll show you." Because I just did a picture next to Fish passed out. And I showed it. That's what I did. I showed him the picture. He goes, "Oh, that's fucking hilarious. We need him on live TV." I was like, "Relax, man. This is a fucking, we're a garbage truck headed to the dump. Don't worry about where that smell's coming from." So we dragged Fish out there, and then Fish sat on that stool. He, it was like a Q&A, and then and Fish did an impromptu tribute to the Siggy Soggy guy. But anyway, he had this pitcher of beer, and we needed to fill it up, and Ray says, "Piss in it." And I go, "I don't know, man." And then I was like, I kind of like trailing along, like I don't even need to piss. And then so me, Ray, and the props guy with a big wooden spoon, we went behind, right there. And I think I earnestly tried to piss. I mean, I don't think I did. I didn't piss in it out of some sort of moral compass. I don't think I did. And then Ray had a pretty big dick. I will give him props on
Ray
that.
James?
Probably that does sound familiar. Ray James takes his big dick out, flops it into the pitcher of beer under, he submersed my dick wasn't hitting anything, but his went right on through the foam. He penetrated weed. He got up into the barley of it, and it was like a fucking fire hose. It was like, like when you put a hose in a dog dish and you're filling it up, and it was like, holy shit! And he splashed it. It was like overflowing. And McCumbie's like, whoa, 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 because McCumbie's a professional. He's a props guy. He doesn't want to piss on the floor. He's like, and then I think Ray did squeeze it off, or maybe he was done, but it was just about an overpour. But McCumbie had that wooden spoon. And
McCumbie was the props guy, right?
Yeah, McCumbie stirred it and got the foam down. And then I walked out there and handed it to Fish, who's sitting in between Joe and Doug. And he does that Siggy Soggy fucking thing or whatever. And I had a really happy moment today. I've had a few in my life, but this was one of them. That fucking audience of, you can't even say what they are now because people get offended when you call people retards, but that's basically what they were. A lot of trapped retards in seats with their 2 beers, and Fish is up there. He's got his big beer and he's doing some blather, and I know he's gonna fucking drink that piss, and it hits me, and I'm so happy, like fucking happy, and I'm in front of the studio audience, and I'm going, yeah, chug, chug, chug. Chug, and I'm getting the people fired up to drink, and then he does. And he takes a big swig, and it pours down off the fucking sides of his mouth and shit. And I don't know what happened after that for a while because I was in ecstasy. I might have hit the floor. So fucking thrilled with this thing because I don't know that TV history, but as far as I know, that might have been the first time that a guy swilled piss on TV. And I went up to like Rogan and I said, "Hey, careful! That guy's swilling piss." And Rogan fell off his stool laughing. It was like, it's hilarious, And he looked kind of sick in his face when he chugged it down too. It's like, but it's like he was a man about it, and I admired it. He drank it just like James Inman drank my piss. This guy drank that beer and that piss. And here's the kicker: is at the end of it, the end of when we're done with him, we have no more use for him, and the town cars to return him to whatever forgettable suburb he came from. I wasn't there, but I hear that somebody goes, "Here, we'll take that from you, fish," because he's stumbly. Probably the driver or somebody didn't want him to have that. And he goes, "No, I want my Mancho beer." And he took that half of it. He drank it all the way out to his fucking. That's why I don't work in television.
Cheers.
Yeah. So, yeah, I did a line jump today. Like, I told you when I got tickets, I saw, whenever there's a line, unless it looks like it's just completely homeless, you might want to at least investigate it, if it's not a new sneaker release or something, it might be good news, because people don't stand in line for bad shit.
Especially right now, you're not supposed to really be lining.
So there was it looked like a run on the bank. Oh my God, what's going on here, Mary? It's a run on the bank at the credit union. There was a line wrapped around the block. So I got out and asked what was going on. And they said they're giving out $500 for COVID. Like, shit, do you have to have it? Whatever. I'll fucking do it, man.
I was going to get it for free.
That stomach pile. So I joined this line, and then fucking that's so it was this, and then they give you the form. I don't have my ID. Oh fuck! And then so I told this a lovely black woman and her daughter one behind me in line, and I go, I don't have my shit, and she goes, I'll save you a place, and I go, I don't, because Gary Busey. That man taught me about.
Yeah, we understand. You got PTSD from cutting in line.
There's etiquette about line saving. So I go, okay, my car's just 5 minutes away. I'll go run and grab my ID. And then I got there, and my ID was in the car, but I got so much shit in there. God damn it. It's a bunch of fucking shit. And I couldn't find it. I'm tossing the car going, you fucker, all you need, the fucking, $500 and you can't produce your goddamn ID, fucking motherfucker. So I zip home, and I'm trying to be cool about it, but I know it's like $500 on the table, and there's people lining up right now while I'm fucking. So I found my ID. It was in the car. I went back, and she was quite a bit advanced in the line. It felt like the 5 minutes had lapsed, and I had no right to join her, but she waves me in. Okay, and then a lady from the bank goes, "You can't just join the line, sir." And then she stepped in for me and said, "No, and then she still wanted me to beat it. And I go, look, and then she goes, "All right, it's up to the people behind you." And I go,
"Oh no, no."
Well, no, I kind of looked through them. So yeah, nobody's complaining, and so I got
with his crossbow over his shoulder. No, anyone got a problem here?
Yeah.
Right. Now later, this lady's husband joins her, and he didn't even have a valid ID. He just joined the line up in the middle there. The line jumped the shit out of it, and I couldn't have been happier. And then she goes, she comes around, and I thought she was going to give him shit, and I was prepared. Like, no, I was saving his spot or whatever. And he goes, and he obviously just joined the line, and she gave him a paper and pen, and it's like, I was like, I get it. I wouldn't want to ask the black guy with dreads to leave the line if I was a bank employee either. So
we've been to World Star.
Yeah. So, but later, so we work our way through it. I really like Tyrese is his name, and he doesn't have a valid ID. And I go, man, I think you can do that. He was a member of that credit, but
you can use mine.
Well, I knew I couldn't help him that way. Hey man, if you got a Sharpie, you can use my ID. Could get us both fired from whatever opportunities we might have had. The real gray area is blackface your ID. Draw some dreads on there too, Tyrese. So earlier in the day, I took all my I had to go to the hardware place to get my paint, and I was like the double. Doing what those guys did when they bumped that guy. I took all my cans because the can place, so I returned all my cans, and then Tyrese and they had all these people gave water bottles. So Tyrese is gathering them up, and I go, I just took all my cans in and got $50 out of them, and he goes, yeah, I've been canning myself, and I never heard. Can, I love it, man. And when he said he was canning, I was thinking, wow, what are you making? What he got cherries?
Preserves.
Peaches. And then He said
mostly Miller Lights and Coors Lights.
yeah, I suggested to him, I go, man, if somebody just had a garbage bag, they could just set it up as a recycle bin. And he goes, fuck yeah, man. And he went and got a garbage bag and set up a recycle bin. And he had at least $50 of cans because I just did the measurement. I know 4 bags is $50. And so he made that money. And then when we were in line side by side, and he didn't have his ID or whatever, and he did get his money. I was kind of concerned that he'd get denied or whatever because of the thing. But I go, because he was a member of that bank, and I go, if you sense that there's a friendlier teller, jump in my place and take it. Okay, and he did that. He goes, I know that guy, and I go, go ahead. Okay, right before about a half hour to 45 minutes before I got in the bank, this taxi cab pulls up, and this fucking fat-headed, fucking hinty-looking motherfucker, or big fat neck-rolled guys. He goes, "What is going on here?" And a lot of people were doing that because you see a line, and I did that shit. And I go, "They're giving $500 if you got COVID." No, I didn't say. I told him. He goes, $500. And I go, all you got to do is fill out a fucking form and stand in line. Well,
I can't wait to find out what you guys signed up for.
I can't wait to find out what
free money.
It's not giving away $500.
Somebody come out earlier, like when I was getting close to the thing. Somebody with like missing teeth, like 4 or 5 teeth, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, free money!" I could hear all this. It's like free money.
You fall for anything.
With a line around the block, it sounds like you guys might have actually signed up for COVID.
Yeah.
Well, I kept my mask
Test trials.
And,
Yeah.
But the Russian dude, he goes, so he asked me what was going on, and then he was in a
Russian?
cab.
Wait, that was a Russian accent you did a minute
I
ago?
thought that was Indian.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but he was a big, thick guy. Like he wouldn't want to have him as a cab driver, that. But he goes, and I told him what was going on, and then like he waved me over. So then a few minutes later, I'm standing there, and he's right beside me, and I go, and he goes, "Would you act like we're friends?" What? He goes, "If I join you in line," and and then I was like, man, it's Gary Busey around. Like I just walked away from him, like I can't even do this, man. And then eventually I talked to him a little bit and everything, and I go, "Man, if anybody else, I'm not backing you on this play." And he got his $500 too. And I go, "If I ever see you anywhere, you owe me at least a fucking beer, right?" And he goes, "Yes, I'll buy you beer and drugs." So. Like right away,
What the fuck is going on in Eugene, Oregon?
Holy shit!
You're saying you walked away with $500 today by just standing in a line?
Yeah, exactly. I made $250 an hour. I was 2 hours. Like I can do this shit,
Jesus.
and they're so the lady behind me, she goes, every 2 people, that's $1,000. So I was like, Jesus, fuck, they're throwing out 500 grand here, and there's people getting the word. I didn't know about it in advance. I just jumped in line like any fucking like a shit. It's like that must have been how breadline started. What's this? Oh, they're giving out free bread. Oh, cool. I'm hungry too.
So why were they doing it? Do you know why? What was the?
Basically, and I didn't have I don't like the paperwork, job applications, any of that shit. I lose interest. I don't check the boxes or whatever. And I met with this guy, and he goes, "You have to write something here." And I said, like, how COVID is affected, or and I wrote comedian, no gigs, and said I had to write something in the box below, and I had an arrow that I had to pre-drawn when they interviewed me out in the line. I pre-drew.
What was the question above the line you drew?
I didn't even really read it.
You didn't even fucking read it.
You
went by another guy who probably didn't read the line either.
So
everyone's filling in line 8. Just don't even look at it.
Yeah.
So we're not even gonna find out what he signed up for, you guys.
He won't know.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Until he's got it.
I wrote.
The last time this happened, he signed up for 2 tablets with the phone company.
I know that guy fucking lied to me. That guy fucking lied to me. He goes, "Oh, okay, here's what that motherfucker did." I went down there to straighten it out, and I had limited information. I go to T-Mobile, and God damn it, The heat is on. Okay, so these two fucking good-looking fucking cunts in their fucking T-Mobile mask. I mean, they look like butters, fully realized butters, beautiful butters. And they got their mask on, and this guy's the slick one who's the one who fucking signed me up for 2 tablets. And he goes, "Oh, man," he goes, "Oh, they just list those, but those aren't being charged on there." And he goes, and him and this other guy, the song "The Heat Is On," and I'm practicing distancing because God damn it, I spoke my piece, and now these guys are both, they aren't looking at each other, but they're both fucking rocking to "The Heat Is On." On the street, and going both ways with their head. I thought it was a fucking late night Saturday Night Live fucking skit or something. And then Chris goes, "Oh yeah, no big deal, man. The heat is on." He goes, "I'll tell you what, for your trouble, I'll bonus your count 50." And then like, fuck, man, I'll do anything just to get out of here. And he apparently I don't know if he even bonused me 50. He's a slick little fuck. And then I get home and I go, "I took care of it." How? And then I know I didn't take care of it. I got fucked. That fucking little bitch and his fucking buddy rocking to that shit. He just fucking lied to me and said that wasn't me. So I'll say this. When I go in there, Chris, you fucking willy-nilly motherfucker, the heat is definitely going to be on, and I'm going to be fucking taping it. So you better not fuck me, motherfucker. So anyway, but I made 450 up or oh. Man, yeah. So that's a bummer, People will fucking.
I'm trying to wrap my head around why a bank, bank, would be giving away $500.
I don't people who aren't even members of their bank.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so and you know how when you see it, somebody with a big American flag on their vehicle, they're probably fucking cunts, and you'd probably like to see their vehicle overturned and them on fire. But there was one of those, and I saw this guy, and I was standing with a black guy. So I go, does that make you nervous? Like, I always feel nervous these days when I see a big giant patriot. He goes, "Fuck yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way." I think our experiences is different, but I don't appreciate that shit. So I kind of noticed what the fucking driver looked like. He's a fat-headed ginger, fucking not the guy that I gave the fucking piss to, but he's similar, pasty white, fat, fucking bearded guy. And then as I was leaving, as I got my money and I was headed to the weed store, with my state money, they gave me fucking state money, and I'm gonna go get some edibles. And I swear that fucking meathead from the big patriotic flag was in line. Like, "Oh, okay, you're a fucking patriot Trump fan, but you're gonna go ahead and jump in a socialist line and wait for fucking hours to get your socialist check, you fucking cunt." Yeah, if I'd have had my phone, I would have went and challenged that fucker. Now kind of the same meanness to him, but fatter. Hey, there he is.
Oh my God.
I don't know what's happening here.
I'm enjoying the idea that you see a line and you're like, "What's this line for?" "They're giving away $500. Okay.
Yeah, no, and it's like, and then I had to assess, my time's worth it.
It's an Andy Andrews cartoon is what hey, what's going on? They're giving away money. Runs over and hops in. It's not even a real fucking thing. Once again, it blows my mind. I don't even understand how this is a thing.
You know the old saying, there is such a thing as a free lunch.
Yeah, that's what a lot of us were talking about lunch. It was about 12:30, 1 o'clock. I was in line from 12:30 to about 2. So the hamburger smell started, it's like, yeah. But I took my money and went right to the weed store. And then I go, "What's on sale today?" And he said, "Nothing." I go, "I'll see you tomorrow."
Hey, Andy, at any point while you were in line, did you start to get worried that you weren't going to make our 3 o'clock?
I appreciate your professionalism to make it in time.
No, I could tell it was moving at a clip that I was going to be good. And the dude that squeezed in line, he even offered, he goes, "If they start running out of money," I go, "Yeah, no, if they run out of money, I'm going to fucking jump in front of you and call bullshit on this thing." But
next time that happens, Andy, just go live on your phone on Skype and just call us immediately, and we'll fucking jump on. We'll just do it right then. We'll do the podcast while you're in line.
Absolutely.
Like, I need to see this happen because I need to know what the fuck's going on with Tyrese and the gang.
Yeah,
Well,
Tyrese
we probably get to speak to an adult to tell us what it's really going on, too.
I think me and Tyrese, I might have made the first physical contact I have since March. Me and Therese, after because he didn't think he was going to get his money, and we got, hung out, and, we share a lot of the same hatreds of people, same fears and hatreds, both of us, and when he got his money, and then he gave me a fist bump, and then he gave me like a half hug on out the door. Like, fuck it, man. If I get COVID from that, it's worth it.
$500 is all it costs.
I think you have COVID already because they definitely gave you COVID. Now you're just going to get the Russian vaccine tested on you.
Yeah.
All right, hey, this is what it is, guys. It's an Oregon Emergency COVID-19 Assistance Program.
Oh, nice, dude.
So the state of Oregon Emergency Board allocated $35 million in corona release funds, providing $500 one-time payments to 70,000 Oregonians who are experiencing financial hardship due to COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, man.
I didn't have the heart to tell him. Yeah, I didn't have the heart to tell him I'm actually doing better.
It's good you hit it, Andy, because they're going to keep accepting applications at the Umpqua Bank until the funds are extinguished.
So basically it said, if you answer no on any of these, you won't get your money. So, yes, that's a yeah.
You're now an Oregon donor, Andy.
Yeah. Don't mention the Patreon.
I had to pledge that I would support Eric Trump's presidential campaign in 2036.
Yeah, and that's an easy one to pledge because there won't be an America in 2036. So it's an empty promise.
I cast my vote already for the 2036.
I just sent it in the mail.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Well, good for Oregon.
Yeah. Kate Brown, man.
Sounds like they got it pretty much figured out up there.
She's openly, I don't know if she dates, but she's like, when she first was governor, she admitted that she was bisexual. And I was like, shit, every woman who's ever gone to community college or even, regular college should at least have one or two of them. It's just fucking hot. Dudes going at it, that's questionable. But when two women hook up like that, then fuck yeah, that's, leadership. Yeah. I don't know that Kate Brown would have killed it with the dudes. But she found someone who had similar experiences and she made it work like a good governor.
Women are a lot like men in that they'd rather have sex with women.
Yeah.
I mean, women are
push
a
comes
lot
to
less,
shove.
a lot 100
less
out of
gross.
100. A lot less
Dudes
gross.
are universally gross. That's all it is. Yeah.
All the way around. Yeah. Even the hottest guys are gay. So they're not even in the equation. So any guy who's straight is gross. They're just gross people. They smell kind of weird, and there's pockets of fat in places there shouldn't be. So I'm with your governor.
Yeah,
I support her.
Yeah, I mean, there's no bad angles in lesbian porn. You notice that? It's like, even that shot I'll go with. That's better, So,
if you watch,
but it's so
in regular porn when they do that fucking right behind the guy's asshole shot, like that's no good for anybody. I don't know who that's for, but you can always tell a sicko when that angle is kept for too long. It's like, come on, why have we not edited to another shot? But that shot in a lesbian porn, that's a great shot. That's a beautiful shot. That's art. So I'm with you on that too.
Kind of how I broke into the business.
Oh shit.
Hey, how was camping?
I thought I was gonna die, but it was fun.
Yeah, I told my story of how I thought I was gonna die. Let's hear yours.
Well, so Carrie Mitchell and I went up to the Sequoia National Forest and got a cabin right outside the park. And
where's Sequoia National Park? Is that above San Francisco?
No. It's just below Yosemite on the in the Sierra Nevada mountains, just on the eastern side of California. Like, do you know where? It's like just east of Fresno. So it's about 4 hours north of LA. But we go up there, we grab a cabin, we're gonna get a bunch of beer and vodka, and we had some ecstasy, and we're gonna go hiking during the day, and we're gonna party and look at the meteor shower at night and do ecstasy and have fun. And we got this Airbnb, and this cabin is fucking great. It's way out in the fucking middle of nowhere. And we get there, and the guy who rented us this cabin is this fucking colorful character who comes up, and he's like explaining all the shit to us, and he's like, yeah, you guys have fun. You guys need any hash? I got hash. I'll bring you hash up here. What do you guys want to do? Shit, I'm 45 years old. I got this whole place. I bought this whole place when I was 18, and I've just had this land, and I just put these cabins on it and started doing this. It's all fun. I'm like, fucking love you, buddy. Jamie was the guy's name. I was like, we love you, Jamie. Thanks. So the first night we're there, and it's 100 and fuck. We're about 3,000 or 4,000 feet up, maybe not even quite that high. Still considered the foothills. So
low, yeah.
Yeah, there you go, right there. That's almost fucking right there where we were. Yep, right, almost exactly where the fucking mark is where we were, just on the outside of the park there, though, and. So the guy said the cabin had air conditioning, but the air conditioner was really just a swamp cooler. And it really didn't have any water actually going to it. And it was doing nothing but blowing hot air. And
That's
it was
not fair to call that air conditioning.
It's not. And we were like, all right, well, you know what? We're here. It was night, the first night, Sunday night we got there. We're like, we're already here. We're fucking drinking. Maybe it'll cool off. Like, we don't know. We're up high enough that it's going to get cool at night. Maybe it'll be cool at night. It'll be fine. Well, it really didn't cool off. And then the next day we went up into the Sequoia National Forest during the day anyway, and it was beautiful up there. So that wasn't a problem. Then when we came home at night, on the fucking porch, it was great. It's 80 degrees. We're sitting in robes. The guy had a big fucking horse trough on the deck that we filled with fucking cold water, and we were just fucking naked in the horse trough, eating ecstasy and fucking chugging Miller Lights. Like, this is fucking living. And there's no moon, so it's the Milky Way and the stars. Everything's fucking great. Nice. So the guy also tells us, he's like, hey, if you need anything, there's no phone or anything up there. There's no cell service. He's like, if you need anything, my cabin's about a mile down the road. Just come on down to the edge of my driveway and just honk your horn. I'm always home, and I'll come right out. I'm like, peace. So we're partying on Monday night. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning. Carrie Mitchell goes in to take a shit, and she comes out and she goes, toilet doesn't work. I'm like, what? Toilet doesn't work. So I go in there, there's no, the tank is empty, and there's no water in the tank, and I nothing. I turn on the shower, no water. And I'm like, oh,
no running water in the entire.
No, the guy had a water tank. That he had a pump pumping water up to the fucking cabin. So I go down to the tank. It's fucking empty. And I'm like, the tank is empty. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm rolling my face off. I'm fucking naked. I'm in a silk robe. It's 4 in the morning. I'm like, I'm not driving down to this guy's cabin and honking my horn to fucking get we'll get through the night, So we get through the night. It's like 8 in the morning. The sun's coming up. I'm like, all right, I gotta fucking get down there. It's nothing else I can do. And I'm about to get in the car and try to make it down this fucking windy mountain to his cabin, when all of a sudden I hear this fucking motorcycle coming, dirt bike. And it's this dude on the dirt bike coming up the fucking road. I'm like, there he is. I wave, come on up. I'm like, dude, the tank is empty. We're out of water. He's like, I'll take care of it. And he puts water in the tank. He's like, another half an hour, you'll have water. I'm like, all right, great. So, but now we're into the point where the sun's coming up over the ridge, and it's going to get fucking hot. And we're like, our plan was on Tuesday to spend the day sleeping off a fucking ecstasy drunk in the air conditioning. Now we're like, how are we going to, so we tried it. We're like, we brought fans with us too. So we were like, we had fans on it, but it was impossible. it was definitely at least 110 in that cabin. I mean, it was hotter in the cabin than it was outside. And we're like,
no air movement.
Well, this is fucked. So then we're like, the only place that is cool is up. So we jumped in the car. I'm drunk as shit, but I'm like, I have no choice. So I'm driving up this fucking mountain road up into the sequoias so that we can be in the air conditioning and take a nap. We got the fucking dog with us because the dog, you can't stay in the,
Yeah. It'll die.
Yeah. So we do that. We fucking spend the afternoon there. And we're like, we come back to the fucking cabin. And we're like, what do we even do? Like, what do we do now? Like, do we spend another night here? Because I don't think we can sleep. But it is about to start getting cool again, and we do have more ecstasy and a lot more beer. Let's maybe we stay another night and we just drive home in the morning. As we're saying this, all of a sudden we hear this, and all of a sudden, like, what the fuck is that? There's water going everywhere. The guy's fucking pipe up from the tank burst, and now there's water fucking shooting everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck? I go over, I try to fix it, can't fix it. I'm like, what the fuck? So now all the water that's coming to the house is being pumped onto the ground. I have to go down to the guy's house. So I drive down to the guy's house, I honk the horn, fucking 10 minutes, nothing. And I mean, it's a long ass driveway. And at the end of the driveway, it becomes a dirt road. And where it's a dirt road, it becomes signs, no trespassing, private property. I don't fucking call the cops. I shoot. I'm like, oh, God damn it. So we drive up there. I'm like, I got to go up there. I drive up there and I'm fucking honking and yelling. I'm like, Jamie. He finally,
Don't shoot.
He's taking a hash nap.
Yeah. This dude comes out shirtless, shorts, fucking just drunk, And I'm like, dude, the water tank's empty again. The pipe burst. You got water's pumping out on the ground. He's like, oh, God damn it. All right, I'll be up in a minute. And I'm like, his house was nice, but it was clearly a tweaker. Like, he had projects everywhere. Like, he had some wood and a log splitter he was working on over here and another motorcycle over here that was half taken apart, a couple of junk cars. I'm like, yeah, this dude lives on the mountain, And he's like, I'll be up in a minute. I'm like, all right, cool. Carrie and I go back up to the fucking cabin to wait. We wait like 30 minutes. He doesn't show up. And we're
water's
like,
still going everywhere, right?
Well, at this point, the tank's empty. So it's only like gurgling out because like as soon as any water gets in the tank, it gets pumped up to the cabin and then gurgles out onto the ground. And we're like, fuck. Like we go, if he doesn't come out and fix this, we definitely have to leave. But we also needed more ice and shit. So I'm like, how about this? Like, this guy's got work to do here. Let's run down to the supply store at the bottom of the mountain, 7 miles down fucking winding, fucking hairpin turns. Let's go get all of our supplies. And by the time we come back, he'll be up here working on this shit. We do that. We come back up an hour later. He's still not there. And we're like, and now we're furious. Like, what the fuck, dude? This is bullshit. So we decide, that's it. We're leaving. Like, we can't stay here, and there's still no water, and it's past the time to have. We can't cook, we can't shower, we can't do anything. So we load up the car, we get everything, we're taking off, and I'm stopping at his fucking house and talking to this motherfucker about a refund because we paid a lot of money for this fucking cabin, and this is bullshit. We pull in to the fucking driveway, and I'm like, all right, well, let's drive up to I honk the horn, of course, nothing. So I start easing my little Prius up this fucking dirt road driveway of his, where like his driveway was like one of those where I'm going a mile an hour and still bottoming out, head hitting the fucking roof of the car, like what the fuck? We start to come around this long corner, and there's his fucking dirt bike laying in the middle of the fucking road, all fucking jacked up, fucking handlebars cranked over backwards. And I'm like, holy fuck. Like, is he fucking dead? And I'm like, is this why he didn't come help us? Because he died on his motorcycle drunk. So we jump out, and I'm like yelling his name. I'm like, Jamie, what the? No answer. I'm like, all right. I back the car back up because I can't get around him, and there's a drop off. So I backed the
Like
car back up.
the bike is blocking the road
The
to where you can't.
bike is blocking the road, and I wasn't in the mood to fucking move it. And I'm like, I backed the car back up to the turnabout, and I'm like, all right, I'm going up there. Mitchell, you stay here with Rooney. And I fucking walk up there, and I'm like, well, this is when I die. Like, this is a dateline.
I've seen this movie, Eric.
This is a dateline. This is a dateline. Well, we went to the bike to bloody, he was. So then I make my way a fucking half a mile up this guy's fucking winding dirt lane through the fucking trees and shit. And I'm getting close to his house, and I'm announcing myself the entire time to make sure he doesn't shoot me. You know, I'm like, Jamie, it's me, Brett, from the cabin. And nothing, just nothing. I get closer and closer. Finally, I hear his dog barking, and I'm still yelling. And I'm like, oh, great. Now he's got a pit bull. Pit bull's for sure going to attack me. You know, I'm like, is this guy even here? What the fuck is going on? And I'm about to knock on his door, and his fucking door opens, and he's standing there, and his hair is sticking up, covered in fucking dirt. And he's like, and I'm like,
Oh man!
Oh no!
Jamie,
Oh,
fuck, dude.
Back-
It's like, he goes, he looks at me,
hold
and he
on,
goes,
Erickson. Hold
Eric-
on.
Yeah.
I'm done.
No, you got to
Oh,
back
He's
up.
like,
Oh.
yeah, man.
Erickson, hold on.
Yeah,
Oh,
Right
shit.
when you said Jamie started to speak, the feed went all
cut out.
sideways. So
All right. So we'll have Todd do some magic editing. So I'm about to knock on the door. The dog fucking pit bull's barking like crazy. I think I'm about to get shot. The door opens. He's standing there. He's covered in fucking dirt and just mess. And he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, my mom died this morning." And we're like, I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm fucked up. I'm just all sad and shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. And he's like, is Joe up there? And I'm like, no, there's no Joe. I don't know. He's like, oh man, like, I'll get up there. I'll fucking take care of this shit. I go, dude, no. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I said, we're fucking packed up and we're leaving. And he just looked at me and he goes, I'll give you a refund. And I'm like, thank you. And I fucking hauled ass down the driveway, jumped in the car, fucking peeled out, and it drove 7 miles down a fucking side of a mountain to civilization with my fucking life in my hands. Like,
make sure you give him a review so he can reach superhost status.
after you get your refund.
Yeah,
shit.
make sure you get your refund.
I'm telling you, man. I really did think, like, all jokes aside, I was worried that he was going to shoot me when I was walking up to his house. Because I was like, this is not, and I even thought, like, you know, we paid, you know, $700 for fucking 3 nights out in this beautiful fucking, and the view of the fucking was great. It was amazing. The place was amazing, except for the no air conditioning and no fucking water. So, you know,
Sounds perfect.
yeah. So I was like, this is how I'm gonna fucking die. This is a Dateline. This is Keith Morrison talking to Carrie Mitchell, and she's describing the last time she saw me was when he stepped over the fucking dirt bike in the middle of the road and walked around the corner, never to be fucking heard from again. It was
the winding road wasn't all he was going to be confused by.
Yeah, I got a question though. When Carrie Mitchell went up to go take her dump, how did you guys end up flushing the toilet?
Yeah,
or did you leave that dump sitting in there?
No, well, we would have. I would have, except she was too embarrassed to do that. So what I had to do, Chaille, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked it. No, what I had to do was the water pipe that was broken had just come unglued at a joint, a PVC joint. Yeah. So I had to hold the fucking pipes together while water was shooting all over me so that enough water would go into the house to make the toilet work so that she could flush it.
Yeah, you had a faulty coupler, like a compression coupler. Yeah.
Well, the one of the lines was led to, and it was plumbed wrongly because before it got up to the spot where it split to go to the various parts of the houses,
manifold.
It split to another pipe that fed the irrigation, and that had just a fucking shutoff valve. and that's where it fucking broke. So
Yeah.
I had to fucking hold the valve closed and hold the pipe together so that enough water would go up into the rest of the house so that she could flush her shame away.
I got a tip for you. Next time that happens, because I mean, come on, it's Carrie Mitchell. It's going to happen again. Just get a pan from the kitchen, scoop out a pan of water from your horse trough, put it in the back of the tank.
You should have done that. You're right. I didn't think of that.
Because it's all gravity. The plumbing is just gravity once you've got water in that tank.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I should have done that.
I would have just hot fisted that shit. You know,
use the plunger to flush it dry.
No, just go hot fist it. You know, squat and fucking shit in your hand, and then throw it and wipe your hand off. You know, we're in the end times. We can't worry about things like plumbing.
Whenever we had that. Oh, go ahead, Eric.
No, I was gonna say, if you're just gonna shit in the wild, why do you got to shit in your hand? Just shit on the ground and leave it. Why do you got to even involve your hand in it?
I don't know what I saw. I remember like a National Geographic thing, and an ape shit in his hand and then ate it. And the narrator said something like, "We don't know if it's good nutrition or just the warmth, or it's like, you know, can it be both, or, you know, it's warm and nutritious." But I always thought that was an interesting, you know, thing, that the apes shit in their hand and then eat it. I was like, well, that cuts out toilet paper. So why are they so advanced? How did they get so far ahead of us? Hey, James Frost Wynn is here with his horn. If we need a safe out.
There we go.
Come on.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, that's it. Wait, Andy, hang on a second.
Andy.
He fucking likes to throw a fucking wrench into the works, because it's time for us to wrap it up. Hey, James, how are you?
I do want to mention that Doug's new book is out on Audible. No Encore for the Donkey.
Awesome.
And that's available at Audible. If you've got credits, you can use a couple credits on this. So get in there and check it out. It's Doug's third book, and the only way to get it right now is on Audible.
There you go. That's lovely. Also, you can subscribe. Oh, there you can. There's Andrus Venmo right there, and his PO box if you want to send him anything. Maybe poop in your hand and put it in a box and send it to Andy. He likes it warm and he likes it nutritious. And also subscribe to Chad Shank's Twitch channel. You get a free Twitch channel subscription with your Amazon Prime membership, so you can use that for Chad. And if you like watching old white drunk guys play video games, this is definitely the channel for you. So do that as well.
It's gonna sound like a marketing ploy, but limited time only. I'm losing interest in that shit. Quitting.
Jump on board. I'm not even sure if that's exactly the best sales pitch right there, but that's all right.
Just the truth.
That's it. All right. And tell everybody you know about this show if you like it. And if you don't like it and you think we're assholes, then tell your enemies about this show.
Yeah.
And make them endure it. And because we love you guys, and we'd love to have more people viewing us on YouTube. So like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to go over to Patreon and do a Issues with Andy episode 77 after party, where we all take our clothes off and rub our penises together. It's lovely. And for $5 a month, you can watch us do that a couple times a week. So I think you should do that. It seems like a great idea. And to play us out, right here, the fucking horn master. It's James Frost Wynn, everybody. Lay it on us, brother.
Yep, there's our water supply. That's what you got going on there. All right.